Howdy there, welcome back to the channel. My name's Evan, or EJ, you can call me either one. Excuse me. Today I want to go over my most anticipated movies coming out in 2023, since, this year's coming to a close, and we got a lot of great movies this year. Also some pretty bad ones, but for the most part, it was a great year for movies. Next year, looks like it's going to have a lot of great movies as well, hopefully, so these are my ones that I'm most excited for. Also want to mention, the reason I'm wearing the exact same outfit as I was wearing in the last video is I'm recording these back to back. I have not just been wearing the same clothes for a week. But aside from that, let's get into the list. Also want to mention that this list is not in any kind of order. It's not listed 10 to 1 or anything like that. It's just the 10 movies that I am most excited for coming next year. With that being said, the first movie on the list is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I didn't watch the first Spider-Verse movie until a year or two after it came out. But oh my god, as soon as I watched it, it became my favorite Spider-Man movie, or at least in the top 3. It's amazing. The art style is great, the story's great, the characters are fun. I'm really glad that they decided to go with Miles as the main character, because as much as I love... Oh god, I almost knocked everything down. As much as I love Peter as Spider-Man, it's nice to see some of the other Spider-Men and people to get some shine for a change. So that was great. The entire movie was just amazing. It's one of the best comic book movies of all time. It's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. It's so good. And the sequel, Across the Spider-Verse, comes out next year. And we haven't gotten a whole lot. We got that little teaser trailer back at the end of last year, I think it was. That looked really fun. It looks like they're going to be switching through a bunch of different art styles as they go to different universes, which looks really cool. It has Spider-Man 2099 in it, who is one of my favorite Spider people, so very excited for that. Also, he's being voiced by Oscar Isaac, which means that's the 3rd Marvel character he's going to be playing, so a little fun fact for you. But yeah, I don't think I could be more excited for this movie. It looks great. Oh, and forgot to mention, another reason I'm excited for this movie is because it has one of my favorite Spider-Man villains in it, The Spot. If you don't know who that is, he can open little black holes or portals to other places, and he's covered in them. I love him because he's so stupid. He's such a dumb villain, and I love it so much. Now moving on to the next movie on the list, we have John Wick 4, which comes out in May, I believe, of next year. I didn't watch the John Wick movies until recently. I was super late to the party on those. I still haven't watched 3. I need to get to that, but I've seen 1 and 2, and I loved both of them. I watched the first one. I thought it was just an incredible action movie. I loved it. Then I watched the second one, and it was even better than the first one. So, this movie very quickly shot up to my most anticipated movies list. I wasn't even considering it because I hadn't seen the first 3, but yeah, I'm just very, very excited for this one. Also, it has a really stacked cast. Obviously, Keanu Reeves is coming back. Bill Skarsgård's in it. I think Clancy Brown is in it. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that have me very excited for John Wick 4. Okay, now the next movie I'm going to talk about is the movie that I actually talked about in my last video. Go check that out, please. I need more people to watch it. But it's Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Now, I understand this probably won't make most people's lists for most anticipated movies of the year because the Transformers movies don't have the greatest track record. But I have hope because it's a reboot. It has a new director, they're going for a more G1-ish style, and they're adapting Beast Wars. So there's a lot here to get me really excited. Also, I said it in the last video, I'll say it again, I was a Transformers kid from day one, so anytime anything from this franchise starts coming out or gets announced, I'm gonna be there. But yeah, Transformers Rise of the Beast has me unbelievably excited. The trailer was good. Some of the voice cast for some of the Transformers characters themselves have me a bit worried, but then the other half of the cast actually has me excited. So it's kind of weird on that front. But yeah, I am very excited for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Now, this next movie is one that wasn't even on my most anticipated list until I sat down here, started making the list, and just like got a bit more intrigued by it, and that's Wonka. I really like the first Willy Wonka movie. It's one of my personal favorite like childhood movies of mine. I also really like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, even though it's a bit wonky. But yeah, I think it's safe to say I'm a big Willy Wonka fan. So I'm very interested in like a Willy Wonka origin story movie. This was nowhere near my list until like 20 minutes ago, but I really like started to think about it, and I'm actually like very intrigued to see what this movie is. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm not super sure how I feel about Timothy Chalamet as Willy Wonka, but I'll reserve my judgments until I see the movie. So yeah, Wonka. Now this next one on my list is not very much of a surprise that it's the most anticipated for me. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I love pretty much anything James Gunn. I'm a big fan of most of his work, so anytime if his name's on something, I'll probably be there and be excited for it. But I'm already like super invested in like the MCU and even just like the Guardians franchise as a standalone thing outside of the MCU. So I'm very excited for this. The trailer was great. Looks like some people are gonna die. I'm not gonna get super in depth on that because I'm making a video about the Guardians trailer after this. So yeah, but I'm very excited to see how this franchise comes to a close, because James Gunn has said that this is the final time we'll see like this version of the Guardians team. Not like all of them, but like it's the last time we'll see all of these characters together as a team. So I'm intrigued by that. I'm very interested to see who's gonna go and who's not. I have my theories about who will. But yeah, I'm very excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now this next movie is a movie that I don't know a ton about, but I'm still like pretty excited for it, and that's Oppenheimer. I know it's about like the Manhattan Project and Robert J. Oppenheimer, but that's about it. The cast is stacked. There's a lot of really great actors in it. Like Cillian Murphy is playing the lead role. I think Robert Downey Jr.'s in it. There's a lot of great actors in it. The main reason I'm excited for it is because it's a Christopher Nolan movie, and I love pretty much everything I've seen of his. He's a great director. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about this in terms of how excited I am for it, but I am really excited for it. So yeah, there's that, Oppenheimer. Okay, now moving on to the next movie on my list, we have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is a mouthful of a title, but regardless. I watched Mission Impossible Fallout in theaters, and I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. Then I went back and watched the other ones because I was kind of like behind on the Mission Impossible franchise. And I love these movies. They're really great. I'm very excited for this next one. A big draw for me is the fact that most of the stunts are like actually real and like done by actual people. So that's mainly what I go to these movies for, but they're still a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm very excited to see this. I kind of forgot that the trailer dropped already though. I need to probably rewatch that because I watched it once back when it came out and then I just kind of forgot about it. But other than that, I'm very excited for this movie. Okay, now the next movie on the list doesn't necessarily come as much from a place of excitement as it does a place of intrigue, but still. It's the Super Mario Brothers movie. I'm intrigued by this because I just want to see if it's really garbage like most other video game movies are, or if we'll actually have another good one to add to the pile, which is not a very big pile, but still. Also, I want to see if Chris Pratt is as bad in the movie as he sounds in the trailers. He doesn't sound like, terrible, but he just sounds like he doesn't want to be there, like recording it. And I saw some people complaining that, like, Charlie Day is doing the exact same thing as Luigi, just using his regular voice, but Charlie Day actually sounds like he wants to be there. Also, even with his regular voice, he's a good pick for Luigi. Chris Pratt is not a good pick for Mario. But other than that, the rest of the voice cast sounds amazing. Jack Black especially sounds great as Bowser. Every time I hear him in the trailer, I'm so happy. He just sounds great. I wasn't really expecting this movie back when it first got announced to make my most anticipated list on pretty much anything, but the trailers have actually really impressed me. I like the way the movie looks. Like, the animation is nice. I really like the style. I think, you know, I just think the movie looks really good. I'm very excited for it. So, next up on my list, I have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I really loved the first Shazam. I actually just rewatched it last night, and I loved it even more that time than I remember loving it. So that has me even more excited for the movie. I like all of the trailers. I think they all look very fun. They look like they're in the similar vein to the first movie, so that has me pretty excited. I also like that the Shazam movies seem to be, like, pretty much untouched by the rest of the DCEU. Like, I know Superman kind of appeared at the end of the first one, but barely. But other than that, it's just kind of like references to the characters without the movies actually being, like, super important to the rest of the DCEU movies, and that makes me kind of happy because, like, they can just do their own thing. So that also has me pretty excited for it, even though it looks like the DCEU is not moving forward anymore. So after this movie, it's probably done for. But yeah, I'm very excited for Shazam 2. I think something that makes me a little bit upset is that the costumes for the Shazam family in the first movie were, like, great. They were perfect. They were very simple, you know, very colorful. And they just kind of overcomplicated them in this one. I'll wait till I've actually seen the movie to see if they, like, grow on me or I like them better, you know, for this movie. But based off what I've seen in the trailers, I don't like these costumes anywhere near as much. The only one that I think is actually kind of an upgrade is Mary Marvel's, and that's about it. But other than that little gripe there, everything else about this movie has me very excited for it, so here's hoping it's good. Okay, now here we are. What is the last movie in my most anticipated movies of 2023 list? It's Cocaine Bear, obviously. This is peak cinema incoming, people. It's gonna be the greatest movie of all time.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
No, but seriously, the last movie on my most anticipated movies of the year list is actually The Flash. Now, I know what you're thinking. How? Because, you know, because of all of the stuff that's happened behind the scenes with Ezra Miller, with all, like, I don't know what's going to be in this movie anymore. I don't even know if Ben Affleck is still in it, even though he was supposed to be. I don't know if Michael Keaton is still in it. I straight up don't know what is happening with this movie. I don't even think I know who the villain is. And, like, they haven't even released a full trailer yet, which I know the movie's, like, a year out. That's another thing. It's gotten delayed tons of times. It was announced in, like, 2014. No, you know what's crazy? It was announced at the same time the Flash TV show was announced, and the Flash TV show is now on its, like, 9th and final season. And this movie still is not out yet. But the reason it's on my most anticipated list is I just want to see if by some miracle of God it manages to be good. If it's, like, anything above pretty good, that's a win, because everything that has happened with this movie up to this point is not a good sign at all. I know, like, the actions of certain individuals that are in the movie don't actually speak to the quality of the movie itself, but there's, even without all the Ezra Miller drama, there's still certain things about the movie that have me a bit concerned, but I am excited to see how it turns out, so that's why it's on this list. So, yeah, I think that's about all I've got for you today. If you liked the video, leave a like, feel free to comment and subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you don't want to miss any of my future uploads. I upload every Sunday, usually in the mornings. So there's that. That's about all I've got for you today. See ya.